Hello and welcome to the real life pregnancy vlog. I am in bed with a extremely bad migraine and I never get headaches, but I've been getting them a lot while I'm pregnant. And so, I have to share the truth. It's no fun. I've got a cold compress and I'm just, lying in bed with the cats. I'll show you the kitties. There's one. There's Dutchie. Duke, say hello. Dookie. Those are my kitties. Anyway, I wanted to do a video today about important nutrients when you're pregnant and plant-based sources. So, as with everyday living, you need vitamins and minerals and nutrients, and you can get more than enough from plant-based sources. And when you're pregnant, you need even more of those nutrients, and you can still get them all while remaining completely cruelty-free. So I'm going to talk about some of the more important ones, but they're all really important. So one of the big ones is iron. Um, Iron, when you're pregnant, your blood vessels expand, and a lot of your blood is going to your baby. So you need actually double the amount of iron that you usually need. Um, and so iron is super important. Um, Most prenatals have iron in them, but you can also get more from your diet. So things like beans and leafy greens and rice and organic tofu and broccoli and so many plant-based sources for you. Um, Another big one is omega-3s, and specifically DHA, which is a form of omega-3, and that's important for brain growth. And so you can get omega-3s from flax oil, chia and hemp seeds, or fortified nut milks and juices, and fortified cereals. Um, and DHA, you'll specifically need to supplement with algae oil, and you can get it at most health stores. Sell algae oil, and you can get all of your DHA needs so that little baby brain can grow. Um, in the second and third trimester, protein is super important for the baby to grow. So things like beans and organic tofu, nuts, nut butters, broccoli, edamame, um, yeah, and like even things like quinoa or rice, and those things will have good amounts of protein too. Um, what's another one? Folate and folic acid is really important even before you're pregnant. Like early pregnancy, you need to be having a good amount of folate. Um, so you should be supplementing or increasing it in your diet even before you start to conceive. So, because it prevents birth defects. So, citrus has a lot of folate. Um, Papaya and oranges and lemons and grapefruit have a good amount of folate. Leafy greens like kale and spinach and arugula, they have folate in them. Beans have some folate, and it's folate and folic acid, and then you can also get it from fortified cereals, and that way the baby is protected from potential birth defects. So another one is calcium for bone growth, and calcium, is plentiful in plant-based foods. Same things like nuts, nut milks, um, leafy greens, kale, spinach, broccoli, tofu, fortified juices, like a lot of these things, like a lot of the foods that are have one thing, have another thing. So you'll hear me say broccoli and tofu and spinach and citrus and because you know they have all of it basically. And and another important vitamin for bone strength is vitamin D. So, where I am in Canada, you don't get that much sun during the winter months. And even in the summer, you're not outside as much as you'd probably need to be getting a good amount of vitamin D. And, you'll have D3 added to your supplements, your prenatals. But a lot of times your doctor or midwife will tell you to supplement with some D drops. So I use a vegan supplement for some extra vitamin D, but I'm going away for Christmas, so I'll get some vitamin D on the beach and I'll, soak it up. And um, a lot of juices and nut milks are fortified with vitamin D, so you can also get it from there. So those are the main ones: iron, protein, DHA, which is an omega-3. Um, oh, and B12. I don't know if I mentioned that one. B12 is pretty big. Um, and most people are deficient in B12, whether they're vegan or not. And it's important for red blood cell formation and brain health. So I supplement with B12 drops in the morning, and you just spray it under your tongue, and it absorbs into the blood very easily that way. And also, most prenatals um, will have these added to them. Like I said, like in your first trimester, you've got headaches, you've got nausea, you just like honestly, you feel like shit. Like there's no real way to sugarcoat it. You don't feel good. And so you don't really, and smells can just make you feel even worse. So you don't want to eat a lot of the time. So prenatals, really do cover a huge amount of what you need. But when you are starting to feel better, make things like tofu scramble and bean chilies and salads, with asparagus and broccoli um, and chickpeas and spinach, and you can make a dressing with some flaxseed oil and balsamic, or some flaxseed oil and raw apple cider vinegar. Your immune system is compromised when you're pregnant, so I recommend buying some vegan miso paste, and sometimes I'll just boil some water in a kettle, and I'll mix a cup of it. I am going to throw up. Okay. So some miso broth can really help. So those are some, and raw apple cider vinegar, you can either take a shot of it, but you might have some heartburn in your first trimester. So raw apple cider vinegar can kind of mess with that. So sometimes I just put it in a dressing. Um, and like things like my DHA oil, I'll put in some freshly squeezed orange juice. So I'm getting my folate, I'm getting my DHA, um, and I'm getting some iron and calcium there too from citrus. So, or sometimes I'll put in some spinach in my juice, and that's, some extra iron and calcium and folate in there also. So juices are huge because you sometimes you just don't want to look at food, but drinking a juice is sometimes okay if you can keep it down. So don't feel too much pressure to eat foods that are going to make you sick. Your prenatal is going to cover a lot of this if you're even able to keep your prenatal down. But at least, when you are ready to reintroduce foods, these are some really good foods that are going to help your baby be the healthiest little vegan baby there is. So I hope that helped you guys, and I hope you have a great day. I am going to hopefully not throw up and maybe get a nap in with the kitties. I'll say goodbye to the kitties. Say bye, Dutchie. And Juki. Bye, guys.